Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Let's take a look at Alexander Mattison, running back out of Boise State. He's a junior. And Mattison is a player who, just watching a few of his runs, you get that sense of a player who's very polished in many respects at this position. And this one play says a lot about him. Let's watch it all the way through. Okay, 10, 11 yards on the play, right? What makes this an interesting play for someone who evaluates tape? Let's start off with just the line of his body, how he runs. He always looks like he's running with a diagonal. See that alignment where his pads tend to be over his knees on a regular basis? Let's see if we can freeze it at certain spots so you can see what I mean. He starts off with that line. You can see as he starts to approach the exchange point, pads over knees. Taking the exchange, pads over knees. Working away from the penetration, pads over the knees. Making a cut, pads over the knees. He looks like he's got that body lean that you're looking for throughout a run. As he cuts downhill, makes a second cut, pads over the knees. As he gets pulled by his shoulders, that pads over the knees look helps out a lot. Allows him to transition easier into lowering the pads even more into a defender who gets awfully low and push that man upward with his pads and finish strong. So just the line here, the line the way he runs, that lean, that body lean, helps him work through contact. Let's also talk about his footwork, okay? You can see that toe, that outside left toe. See how it's pointed away? He opens those hips very well, even while leaned, to get away from that defender's reach. Then a second nice hard cut downhill. Then a third nice outside cut or dip, and he points that toe again towards the sideline so he can open those hips. Now another hard cut about right. Well, not a cut. Another turn down here. You can see the legs bend. Hips bend, keep the feet driving. Really nice stuff here, all on one run with that footwork. And it's that hip flexibility. You know, when you want to talk about ability here to change direction, it's in the hips, being able to open those hips, being able to drop the weight. And when you can point this toe right there, see how he's low with his weight, but he's still able to point that left foot towards the sideline. That opens those hips and makes a dramatic turn. And then when he pulls through here, he's able to keep his feet, turn his hips through that, shake that man off, and then drive upward with his hips through that direct contact on the defensive back. Excellent stuff there. Now all this stems with the body lean and the footwork and the ability to use those hips through what the eyes process. So watch him process this penetration coming off the left side. He sees it right here. Watch him bend away. He's bending to the left side before he even fully secures the ball. He's already bent away from the defender. See, that's good anticipation of the line of scrimmage because you're reading the line before you even get the ball. That gets him outside. He's already ready to get downhill from where that defender came from, which again is a good concept because wherever the blitz comes or whether the penetration is, there's usually going to be an empty space behind it. So he heads towards that empty space. But then the pursuit comes down the line and he anticipates that, and you see the nice bend right there. Too tight of a bend or it's a perfect bend. It's too tight of a bend for the pursuer to get him because of the fact that he saw it ahead of time. It's not the defender that's in front of him that he's bending away from, not the one who's at the 40. It's actually the defender who's in pursuit on the ground behind him that he's bending away from. And then he gets downhill and around his blocker. Good finish, good pad level, good job tucking the ball. And see how multiple times throughout this run he covers the ball with both arms. Practices good ball security here. At the beginning, both arms around the ball. with penetration right there, just dips away from it. Okay, now as he's getting downhill, he's trying to accelerate, uses that other arm, but he sees a defender coming. He dips away from that. Now, as the other defender comes in pursuit, covers with both hands, pulls through that. Here's a third defender, both hands as he goes into contact and finishes with both hands. This is all very refined work. All these little details make this a play that could have easily been a 4-yard loss. And he turns it into a 12-yard gain. After contact balance, quickness, vision, footwork, hip flexibility, pad level, ball security. One play tells you an awful lot about this back of what he can do. It doesn't mean he does it every down, every play. It just tells you that he's capable of that. And a lot of backs, we don't always see whether they're capable or not of doing all of these little details after watching them with 20 attempts or 30 attempts or 100 attempts. But Alexander Mattison in this one play shows you an awful lot of what he can do and what he's capable of becoming more consistent at if he isn't already. And I have a feeling with the way he handled this situation, with really one difficult situation after another, and then into another and another, that takes someone who has all of these little techniques pretty well down pat to where he's not even thinking about it. He's just reacting to the speed of instinct. He's not thinking about any of this stuff. He's worked on it to the point that it's just natural for him to do. Pretty naturally nice runner. And when I say natural runner, I'm talking a refined runner, not some guy who just came out of the womb and knows how to run the football. That's not what people mean when they say instinctive runner. And if they do, they're not studying the running back position well enough to understand the details and the work that goes involved to develop them. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, Matt Waldman's RSP Film Room, and my site, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.